Hello, Jay Leshark here from the Jay Leshark and Friends, but yeah, you probably know that because you're listening to us already. Anyway, before we get to episode 67 with the lovely Celina Grace, if I could ask, if not beg, you to give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, that would be lovely. We'd love you forever. You can even write a little comment. You can write, "We love you, Russell," or "Russell's great. Russell's the one that holds this podcast together. We love Russell." Anything like that will be fine. Thanks. Enjoy the show. Oh, you'll get that bit next. I better do the intro, really. Here we go. Hello. This is a Jay Leshark and Friends
and Russell
and Russell podcast. And on today's show, we're talking to smart, beautiful and awesome Celina Grace. Originally from the Philippines, spelt with a P, Celina has only been on Phuket for a short time, working with children with autism. We talk about her journey to Phuket, boobs and boxes, and how Russell's job is similar to hers, a little bit. Celina was super cool to talk to, and she definitely knows her stuff. First time we met Celina, she is awesome. Enjoy the show.
Are you going to do a duet first?
We can, if you want us to, we can do a duet.
It wouldn't be the first time.
I think your listeners would like you to.
You say listeners.
Yeah.
You might be overrating that slightly.
And I thank you for that.
I mean, if his mum's not listening and my mum's not listening, that's it. We're done.
Yeah.
At least my mom's going to listen. That's one listener.
Oh, okay. So we better be polite then.
Oh.
I should have said welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the podcast, Jay.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
We're here with Celina Grace.
So, yeah, actually, that's my second name. My real surname is Celina Manawis. Manawis. Can you pronounce it?
Can I?
Manawis.
Manawis.
Manaois.
Manawis.
Yeah.
Manawis.
Can you tell where I'm from?
Well, we're guessing Philippines.
Yes.
Well,
But it's not a common surname. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't know. Is it? What's a common surname in the Philippines?
Something like Carlos or Garcia, because in the Philippines we've been like colonized by Spain for like 300 years. So we have a lot of Spanish,
influence.
Yeah, influence.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have any brothers or sisters?
Yeah, I do. I have 2 brothers. I'm the middle child, and the only girl, the rule breaker.
So you're in safe company then.
Probably not. I know a lot of Filipino people that live in Phuket, and one of them, she says her name is the same as her sister's name, and she's got 2 sisters, and they're all called Maria. Is that normal, or is she just weird?
I think it's a little bit strange, although Maria is a very general name as well. But yeah, that is very.
Is it? So it's weird to have the family.
How many? Lots of siblings?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, no, just if there are like 4 or 5 siblings in the house, just call them all Marie. Just makes it easy.
Yeah, and they can all come at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you're not going to forget. Oh no, Job, Bob, fuck.
You'd always just blame another Maria for not doing the dishes.
That is true. That is true.
It's Marie's turn. No, but Marie did it. But it's Marie's. Yeah.
No, is it Marie or Maria? So you're confusing me.
Maria or Maria? Maybe there's an intonation difference.
Say that again slowly.
Maria or Maria?
Is there a difference? Oh, please don't tell me that.
know.
I'm confused. I know nothing about the Philippines apart from the...
Welcome to the podcast.
Oh. Again, I know nothing about the Philippines apart from I have one question. I've been thinking about this since I asked you to be on this podcast.
Can you spell it?
Well, this is my point. This is my point.
I had a feeling he was going to...
Yeah.
Why is Philippines spelt with a PH, but if you're Filipino, it's spelt with an F?
Enough.
Oh, that's a very interesting question.
And
Are you just being polite?
To be fair, from Jay, that's a very good question.
I have
doesn't know me, Celina.
I have a feeling that I've actually had this fact. I learned about this back in grade school, but now that I'm a bit older, I can't really remember. But I'd really love to look it up and find out why it's with an F.
So, Russell,
So what you're saying is you didn't pay attention in school.
Nope.
That's what I'm getting out of
Right?
this.
It just
and in a minute, we're going to recommend it. Guess what she does for a job.
Yeah.
How long have you been in Phuket for?
I've been in Phuket for about 2 years, I think. Yeah.
Okay. What
So
brought you
pretty
here?
fresh. Well, it was a job really. When I got here, I never really planned to go here. I was just like offered a job and I tried it out, and then I'm like, okay, it's pretty cool. I'll stick around. So many beaches, a lot of things to do really. Even though everybody says it's a quiet little island. I mean, it's great. There's a lot.
Who says it's a quiet little island?
Some people, I don't know, ones that
Don't go to Bangalore.
Yeah.
Go on. How long have you been here?
2 years.
3 years, okay.
Yeah, so it's been quite a while, but it's still pretty fresh. And like you guys, it's 15 and 12 years?
15.
15.
Yeah.
15.
It's like a prison sentence, really.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm up for parole shortly.
They'll never let you out.
Probably not.
You
Yeah.
wouldn't be good in other people's society. You're all right on this island.
I'm institutionalised.
I'm not going to ask how old you are, because that's a very
I will.
personal...
Oh, I'm 27.
There you go.
Okay. So so you came to Phuket because of a job. So what was the job?
Yeah. So I was an ABA therapist. I don't know if you guys are familiar.
What?
ABA therapist.
ABA.
We could have some fun with that.
Yeah, we could.
So it's pretty going to be a bit technical, but it's applied behavioral analysis. So back in the Philippines, I graduated as an education major. And then after that, I did therapy for children with autism. So that's ABA therapy. So we do a lot of behavior-centered therapy, trying to make behavior more appropriate through the use of reinforcement. And we do tap on a lot of skills like language and communication, social skills, things that you lack.
Yeah. No.
That was great. She pointed at
Yeah,
you,
yeah, no,
Russell.
that's-
So you're not weak for a change.
Or
Wow.
She clearly doesn't know you.
This is I don't have much...
Social skills.
social skills is one. I don't have much experience working with children of different needs. Is that
Yes.
what's the right way to say it?
so children with
Is it
special needs.
so special needs? We're still allowed to say
Yeah.
special needs.
Yes, we try to identify the child as just still a child, but with special needs.
Okay. But
That's
is that, so when you were studying at school and the university, did you want to go into that? Was that your passion?
Actually, I did have a cousin who had autism, so I was a bit aware of it when I was growing up. And then it's just sort of like when I was in college, I was meaning to go in like preschool setting because that was my main major, early childhood education. And then after a while, I explored a little bit in therapy and one-on-one, and then I got trained for another company in Hong Kong to do ABA therapy. And then, it was fun. It was fulfilling. Nice to see, parents when they're proud of the kid, being able to, it's simple things really. Some of the kids with autism, they don't know how to even do day-to-day activities like personal hygiene or grooming. So once they're able to tie their shoelace or learn how to brush their teeth, it's a nice thing to see. Or if they say words because they used to be nonverbal. So it's great to see them, succeed and little things like that. So
And it must be huge for the parents, right?
Yes. So definitely, as a parent, you really want your child to excel, and if they have special needs, you want to see them still being productive in society. And it's one of the things that kind of pulled me in here more. And then eventually, I stopped I finished my contract with the family I was working with, and now I am working online.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, online stuff. So let's go back to the Philippines, because
Yes.
have we had a Filipino guest before? I don't think we have we?
You're our first.
Our first one.
You're our virgin.
Yay.
I don't say that very often.
Where's my crown?
Do you
Maybe
get
the
a crown?
crown?
Virgins have crowns?
I don't know. It's the United Nations now.
A blue beret.
What was it like growing up in the Philippines? For people that I've never been there either. Have you?
No, I was going to go actually this time last year
Why didn't you?
because COVID.
Oh,
You always blame COVID,
yeah, I
don't you?
know.
It's
What
a
was
good
it
excuse.
like growing up in the Philippines? And, more to the point, whereabouts in the Philippines?
So I was actually based in Metro Manila. That's like the capital area of the Philippines. So I grew up in the city. And it was pretty fun, very humble, very tropical. It's kind of like Bangkok, really. Lots of buildings, lots of traffic, lots of people.
Concrete
but
jungle.
Very busy, very buzzing. But so I grew up there. And then if I do get to spend holidays, go to the beaches, bring my friends and stuff like that. Hike mountains and yeah.
See, I know nothing about the Philippines apart from they're all in bands. That's the only thing I know about Philippine people. So it must be weird because it's like New Orleans, I guess, for you then. So every time you walk around a street corner, there's another cover band singing, I don't know, Zombie or something. I'm joking. So, but was your plan to always come out of the Philippines, or you had no plan at the time?
No, not actually. But I was since after uni, I was working. I worked in the Philippines, and then and then I wanted to explore more. So I was like keen to look into different countries, working in different countries, having like an expat life. But I didn't really plan it really. Yeah. So when I was offered the job, I was like, you know what, let's do it. Like,
so how did that get? Sorry, you can drink your coffee at some point. We can
just
talk.
not now.
Yeah, just not now. I was about to ask you another question. So you came to Phuket because you were a private educator for this. So I'm assuming the child had autism.
Yes.
Okay, so you just came as a private educator. Is that the right word? I don't know. What was your role?
Behavior therapist.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So what would you? They were living in Phuket, or how did they get hold of you? How did that happen?
So they were living in Phuket, and then I also, because I used to work for another company that does the same therapy, so they were just kind of looking around resumes and found me, and then a lot of people apply for the job, really, and then
and you got it because you're better. You could be like, it's okay.
Well, yeah. I guess that's why I was here. Yeah. So, it was an interesting arrangement, and then I had a, because it's a bit, it's going to be a bit technical again. So, for cases like this, there's a board-certified behavior analyst. So she's the supervisor for the programs of the child to make it individualized based on their needs. Mm-hmm. And I'm the one that does the follow through with that and does the hands-on therapy and all those and tracks the progress. So it's a big little team. Yeah, does that make sense? Yeah. But yeah, it's ABA in totality, it's an in-demand therapy. For children with autism, just because it's been known to help these kids, and and now I'm doing online work, but not as a therapist, but still related to like onboarding families to getting this therapy because my company now is based in the States, and then so what they try to do is they try to get this therapy for the child in home, and then I talk to the parents and see how it is and give them more information about it. So that's what I'm doing now. Yeah, it's a big thing to swallow, but
it's difficult to make. Sorry, it's difficult to make any jokes at the moment. I'm feeling quite.
Being serious.
Well, no.
You want to go back to talk about
I just feel a bit guilty about making jokes about children with special needs, but I guess. Oh well.
The people learn.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go on. I'm sorry. I'm jumping in.
I'm just going to ask, what do your brothers do?
My older brother, he's
singer in a band.
Actor.
Oh, he's an actor.
Close. Yeah, but he does kind of sing too.
Of course he does.
Yeah.
Of course he does.
He does a lot of stage design and productions back in the Philippines. He works with a known theater company. And then my younger brother is a customer service agent, yes, he also worked for a company and he does it online. So I'm the one who's first to like get out of my comfort zone.
And with that in mind, so obviously did the contract that you had, did that come to a natural end? It was just on a particular cycle, or was that just due for this whole to blame COVID again?
So I was like
a combination.
Fortunate like to still have a job during the pandemic because it was private. I could still go in home and still I was just within the the area. And then so afterwards, after a few months, and the contract ended anyway, so I began exploring for other options because I still like staying in Phuket really.
She's being very cagey, Russell. There's something more to this.
Well, the next.
I think.
I've got an inkling.
Dig.
But yeah.
dig. Keep going.
So the question was going to be, take COVID out of the equation. Obviously, everything's back to normal. Everything's fine. Uh-huh. Did you want to stay in Phuket, or are you looking sort of further afield to?
Mm-hmm. So, everyone can attest that at the moment it's difficult to just jump to another. It's difficult to jump to another country or so. I do want to go back to the Philippines for a bit and see my family and all, because it's been 500 years since COVID.
At least.
Been that
Right?
long.
As it's been that 500 years. So now that I found something remote, it's something I want to explore, and maybe in the future, like to go and explore other countries as well, because I do love traveling. But right now, I'm pretty content where I am, and it's been great. You know, my lunch breaks are just on the beach, just walk and like see a really nice sunset, and then I like having an active lifestyle and just trying different fitness classes and stuff like that. So
You go down to Touchwood Yoga.
oh yes, how do you know?
I know the owner.
Oh yeah, so they do have like
Big shout out to Touchwood
Yeah.
Yoga. That's Flexi V.
in Chalong.
Flexi V. V. Vasusha.
Yeah, V is really nice. She so she does this community yoga twice a month. So it's free, and she invites just everybody who wants to practice. It's good vibes, different teacher every time. The last time I was this teacher, her name was Jenny. She's from South Africa, and she was just blasting on some pop tunes and Madonna, and like, oh, this is you. You know, trying to meditate.
That's my kind of yoga.
Is that yoga? And pop tunes?
Well, I guess yoga is more on just like, you know, they have their own personal styles to it, and so, but it was quite fun.
You with this family that you first came over. You was in Camilla.
Sorry?
And you was working in Camilla, and I guess were you living at the house? as well?
No, it was just separate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So have
there's
you
still
always
a bit of
stayed in-
space. Yeah.
Have you always stayed in Patong, or is it?
And in Camilla as well. And then
Okay,
I
so
just
you started off in Camilla, and then now you've moved to Patong.
yeah, it's pretty quiet there, really.
That's
but
one way of
yeah,
putting it.
nothing
What
going
was the
on.
move?
but
Why,
it's-
Yeah,
why
why
from
Patong?
Camilla to Patong?
Well, it's an interesting story.
Yeah, there you
because-
go. There's something more to this as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because
What's his
I
name?
wanted
Yeah.
now. It was fun being in Camilla. I want to explore a bit. At first, I thought of going to Hawaii because everybody seems to be there nowadays.
Yeah.
But right now, since I'm in like just this, what do you call this? This kind of limbo, whether to stay long or not. So I'm staying in Patong because my friend owns a hotel there, and she gave it to me in a good rate. Yeah.
Your friend gave you a hotel.
No.
Just a room.
A room, just a room.
Isn't that a little bit? What's that movie with Where's Johnny? He had a hotel, didn't
So basically, I live in a
Yeah.
hotel now for like just thinking a couple months, and we'll see if I'm
he?
eventually.
Is that the hotel that we talked about meeting at?
Yeah.
You know the owners of that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know the new management team there.
Oh.
Which hotel?
See,
Can
small
we give them a
little
shout out?
town.
It's now called the Local, isn't it?
Yeah.
That rings a bell.
Yeah, I'll tell you about it later.
Yeah, no,
There's a history there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
There's a history there.
There's a
So-
small little rusty bell going off.
Yeah. So now, like, just staying here for a couple
Close
months.
to Illusion, isn't it?
Uh,
Is it Illusion it's close to?
Close to Bangla. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
5-minute walk to Bangla.
Do you do much Bangla?
Sorry.
Sorry, that was a terrible joke. Do you go to Bangla much?
When it was still bustling, I guess, and when it reopened, because everybody just wanted, you know, good vibes, and probably some virus, but
Details. Minor details, right?
No, I think Rawai and Shillong is, especially, we'll let you have a drink while I talk to
Rawai is buzzing. apparently.
Rawai is really
Yeah.
buzzing, but it's full of vegans and yoga people.
Which is all the more reason to ignore it. And
Well,
it's
it's
You're
just
from
nice.
the
as well as
Philippines,
down
there's no
south.
way you are a vegan. And
Yeah.
we're throwing
no,
that out
I'm
there
sorry.
right now.
I love my vegan friends, but I also love meat, so it's something I can't, you know, just give up.
How can
Cold. I don't know.
Filipinos cannot stop eating meat and singing.
I know.
So would you move down to, or are you still kind of, Patong's a good place. I guess it's in the
a
middle,
little,
isn't it?
yeah, just a little limbo moment there, but we'll see. I'm a bit keen to do a little bit of Hawaii or Bangtao, really, just explore because I love those areas because it's the bustling part of Phuket now.
It is interesting. 'Cause it's right down. Rawai and Chalong get us a bit of a bubble going on down there, and up here, well, not here, we're in Camilla.
Russell doesn't like Camilla.
No, not at all.
There's
But-
not-
but Chang-Tele sort of
I know
area.
your mum's going to listen, so I can't use the words that he called Camilla.
Yeah, it's a bit like
It is. See, she
different
knows.
here. I know.
I
Yeah.
was so polite about it. I was like, Russell, don't be rude. We're meeting Celine. She's lovely. We're going to meet in
No,
Camilla.
Well, you know, I found a little cute little
you know,
spot
to be
here.
fair, you've girl
And
done good.
Where are we? We're at Sink Coffee, which is
Coffee.
in the back end of Camilla.
That's the other way.
It's
to put
a
it.
hidden
It's in the back end of the
little-
back end of. I mean,
But it had nice
Jesus.
coffee. You've had
I've had a very nice coffee. It's
What
a
did
nice
you?
little
You had
funky
a
place.
Ethiopian.
An Ethiopian coffee bean macchiato, and it was very nice and done properly. Actually, I will give them that. So fair play. nice sort of place, but just why did it have to be in Camera?
Had to be in the middle.
Well, what is wrong with, why don't you like Canada?
It's a shithole.
Don't swear. Mum's listening.
Sorry, Mum. Is that the door? It's a shithole. Oh, sorry, Mum. My mistake.
Big Burgers in Canada as well. We've got to try that.
Oh yeah, just around over there.
Yeah.
They're not in Chantilly. I thought they were in Chantilly.
That's a very silly private joke. Yeah, don't worry very much.
It's not in Tamil.
Yeah. Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
I've got 2 young children, neither of which have autism.
They do have some special needs.
They do have some special needs, and one of them is having a dad like me, unfortunately. We've been doing some online learning, obviously, because it's been the school's shut, although they're back now, thank God for that. I found it really tricky, and I've got a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old, so I'm trying to help them with online learning, and it's really tricky for kids that are just, I don't want to use the word normal, I don't mean it disrespectfully, but it's really tricky for normal kids. These special kids you have.
Yeah.
How hard is it, on a serious note, to
For them to adapt to a different way.
Thank you, Russell, for jumping in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For me, so I do see this common problem for a lot of kids nowadays, just that transition from school to online learning. I mean, they can't sit still in a normal class routine, so how can you expect them to pay attention just to screen? Even I would get so tired just listening to someone on the screen, so I do understand that area. For some parents, they do, well, from what I heard, they do try to just do a bit of like guiding for them, really, until they kind of get used to it.
But do you find it difficult
to do
on your online stuff?
Actually, it's pretty interesting because for me, I'm not doing therapy now, but I'm doing more of like calling in parents and giving more information about ABA. And
more
then
of a support role.
Yes, a support role, and then trying to onboard them for the therapy and kind of quantify them as well if they're eligible for the services. But I am aware of online learning just because I have a lot of friends also who are teachers, and that transition to just online and teachers, and they're all like, I have to prepare materials, I have to actually learn how to take a video and stuff like that. And then there are different like strategies now. Some would do like purely live online. Some would be pre-recorded. My other friend down in Katu, she's doing like recorded videos. So apparently some parents are too busy to go to attend the class time, so they would just watch the video with their kid and kind of review. In a way, for a parent, it's more involvement in terms of like teaching their kids. But I know I do get like how hard it is for just them to like sit still and be.
It's very interesting. I mean, I don't have kids, amen. But from talking to friends and obviously people and stuff I know that do have kids, it's been really fascinating. Especially like just now when the schools have reopened again finally, and all the parents are like, oh, thank fuck for that. Oh dear God, it's been a real stress having kids at home, and it's bizarre to think.
Just running around, especially you have 2.
You should be happy that they're no, send them to school.
Listen, look.
A newfound respect for teachers and the shit that they go through.
Yeah, they still shouldn't be paid that much.
No, I agree with that. They should be paid double.
No, I don't think they should. So I'm a single dad, so I had to share the responsibility with my ex, because my ex-wife's Thai. So the Thai classes, it is difficult. So you have 2, and they're both learning at the same time. So I've got one in one room, one in the other room, and I'm back and forth making sure that they're concentrating on doing what they need to do. And then the classes are at different times, so then one's off playing, the other one's not playing, and then the Thai lessons, then I have to put them both in the car, get them to my ex's house so she can help do the Thai lessons, all while I'm supposed to be working.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And that's the tricky part. And also, I don't think I should be teaching my kid, because it's not right. Even I think it's wrong.
She's doing maths for a 6-year-old.
Maths I'm all right with, it's the English that's the problem. That's the issue. When I don't know how phonetics and how the English language works, and I'm sitting there teaching my 6-year-old, it's like, there's going to be a problem in the
Google
future. Exactly, Here's Google.
Daddy, what does this mean? Hang on a minute.
Yeah.
So when you're supporting, I'll get back to the serious bit, when you're supporting, no, that's not my question. My question was going to be autism.
That's a statement, not a question.
Is it a statement, is it? See, this is why I shouldn't speak English. This is it. I'm just proving my point. Different levels of autism. There's different,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Russell, do you know much about autism? Or
There's a bit of a spectrum.
should we ask the
Yeah.
expert?
That would be my
Let's ask
follow-up.
the expert. Autism. Give us
Discuss.
a breakdown.
So basically, there's still no cause to autism, but they do have a lot of social deficits, language deficits. You know, they take things literally. Some of the symptoms would be like they can't accept change quickly. They have to stick to routine. They
Well, they
play
should
very
use the correct
rigidly.
money, then they don't have to worry about change.
Chat.
I'll be a week. Thank you very much. Thank
Tap
you.
and go, that's the way forward.
Well, should we just finish it there? Thanks very much. Job done. I'm out of it.
So they do need a lot of one-on-one support, just because you really have to intensively, train them to understand certain concepts. So it could be like, properly looking at someone when you're talking to them, or responding when somebody calls your name.
On something like, okay, take something, let's break it right down. In terms of, because I know eye contact and engagement can be
Yes.
quite a big thing. So in terms of, if I'm refusing to make eye contact, how do you bridge that gap? Is it a case of sort of engaging with sort of every micro change, like from well away to sort of maybe half looking at you? And how are you, for want of a better word, rewarding this? Mm-hmm. How do you mark that moment that makes them want to keep doing it again?
Mm-hmm. So this is, it's getting very technical, but
sure. There's a reason for that, which I'll come to in a minute.
So we do kind of have this system. Usually, system would be a token system. So we're we use a lot of positive reinforcement, like encouragement and praises. So let's say you have a sticker booklet of 10 stars, and then the way it works is you're right about you start really small. So if you kind of catch the moment of him like talking, looking at you, so you give a star, just so that you can establish this understanding. Oh, if I do look and it's undesired behavior, and then if you finish that, token system, you get a bit of tangible, and then eventually, like we graduate from tangibles with just pairing with encouragement and praises, just so that you understand more of like, oh, very good that you're looking at me, and then, but it can get a bit rigid in terms of like how long do you look at a person, but we just kind of tap on the little basics of it, like looking.
So, you're doing successive approximations of a certain behavior,
yes,
right, at
and
certain
then
levels
try to catch
to build
it
up
more.
the intensity, and then it moves up a level. The key, I work with dogs, so, and it's, without being quirky, it's the same kind of thing. When you're sort of counter conditioning a certain behavior or trying something new, I want to go from, like, if I'm teaching a dog to roll over, they might not do it. Some dogs, brilliant, just do it first time straight off the bat, fantastic. Others, you've got to do certain levels. You've got to lie down, turn the head, turn the head more,
exactly.
and it's just building it up. The difference with the dog is, well, kind of a similar thing. If they can't communicate to me what's rewarding, what they want out of it, I've got to find that out. Dogs are generally easy because most of the time it's
just
food,
yeah,
or maybe a tennis ball or a tug toy or something. So, but with an autistic child, how do you know that those, do they give a shit about the stickers?
The motivation. Yeah,
what's the motivation for me to look at you? Well,
I can answer that, to be fair.
to be fair,
we do have like a bit of like reinforcement. We do try to get more data on reinforcement. So what does the child want? What is his interest? So it can come from information from his parents, or based from like a day that you meet him and just show him all different toys, different materials, different activities.
See what lights him up.
Yeah, so so sometimes it could
Sorry,
be
did you say see what lights him up?
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's the right expression.
Well, I don't mean like,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Right, okay, yeah.
Also, I'm jumping in as I always do. We're saying him a lot. Is autism, the main people that I know with autism have been male. Is it more male orientated?
Yeah, actually.
Oh, really?
Damn it, hashtag me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Screw you, ladies.
Yeah,
always moaning and
the
groaning.
knockback.
Mate, that's...
Have I made a good point?
No, mate, you made 2 in the same podcast. I think we should mark the time.
Have I really? 2? What was the other one?
I've forgotten, but we'll listen back to the podcast. And
Oh,
come up
okay.
with it. It was a good question earlier.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting point. I didn't know that.
Why is that? Expert?
I'm not sure.
What?
But that's just always what we were told.
I would guess
It's
putting
more
up with women.
I think it's putting up with women, yeah. It's probably getting paid more than
Because
women.
they think in boxes.
Yeah.
Men think in boxes.
Do we? What?
Women,
I've lived in a box. I'm not sure I've thought in a box. I've done something else in the box.
I did like kind of, because I heard this from like someone else. So men, they think within boxes, just focus on one thing at a time.
Boobs.
Have you met?
Yeah, boobs.
Sorry, that just.
Boobs,
I am so
ass,
sorry.
tits.
If your mum's listening, I apologise. It just came out.
Yeah, see?
It's popped out.
Boobs.
Boobs.
Tits, ass, right? So you focus
She's
on
got
one
me.
thing at a
You've
time.
nailed me. Boobs, tits, ass. That's it. I'm
That's
done.
the hierarchy, isn't it? But
Depends which way you
Okay.
look at it, doesn't
Well, boobs, tit. Well, that's kind of the
depends
same.
if you're boober.
So,
it? Yeah. Are you a booby guy?
well, yeah. Are you
Okay,
more of
as
an ass
boobs.
guy or a boobs guy?
Eyes.
Yeah. Well, it's that would be.
Yeah. We should really be talking to our guests.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
We're in our
Sidetracked.
box. I do like getting in the box.
Men, there we go. See? Perfect example. They're very focused on just one topic at a time, but women,
They
they're
throw boobs on the table. What did you expect?
And I'd just like to point out for the listener, she hasn't thrown her boobs literally on the table.
Especially if mum's listening.
Yeah. There's no
Yeah, mum
boobs
won't
out
mind.
right now. We're in our box.
So anyway, the point is,
Yes.
men think in boxes, just just different storage units. We focus on just one thing at a time. But women are like
All over the fucking
handbags.
place.
So it's just a handbag, but there's so many things inside, like combs and makeup and books and a fridge. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of things going on. Not in my
I was
handbag,
gonna say, it's a
it's
big
really
handbag.
small. But yeah, so it's
If we cleared the
multifaceted.
table and said empty that, for the listeners, it's quite a small handbag. I guarantee if we said empty the contents onto this table, it would just flood everywhere.
No, but I think if I emptied the contents of my bag, it would do the same. Does that mean I'm a lady?
No, it was,
Just weird?
yeah.
Feminine? No, but
I think I am a little bit feminine.
feminine.
I've got cookies in my bag.
Oh, there we go. Always prepared. So yeah, that's
okay.
For luring small
somebody.
children.
But okay,
told that to
so
me.
the reason why there's more. Oh, blimey.
Sorry,
autism-
boobs. Back to boobs.
There we go. Where is it? Boobs.
I'm not on boobs. I'm on autism, kids. Boobs. What? Honestly, this is ridiculous. I don't really talk about
She
boobs.
started it.
You did start it. So,
Right. Let's all put the boobs away.
Sorry, boobs.
my point. I think to my question was the levels.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the rewarding, and it does very similar to what we've discussed. And if you do want to learn about dog training, you should listen
Yeah,
to
it's
Bartcast.
conditioning really.
Yeah.
ABA therapy is more behavior centered, so he did tap on a bit of it. So a bit of conditioning, starting small steps, and then eventually bridging it and generalizing it.
But there's different levels of autism.
Yes, there is.
And can people get sorry? And
Go ahead.
I don't know anything about autism in any way, shape, or form. Can it get worse in time,
okay.
or is it once you set at a level, that's the level you are? And also, can it get better? And also, I don't want to use the word "is there a cure" because that sounds horrible, and I don't mean it like that. But is there light at the end of the tunnel for someone who does have autism? So there's 3 questions there. Go.
So there are different levels to autism. Some of the kids that do get assessed, diagnosis from starting from 2 years old, so they usually get assessed by a neurologist, a psychologist, or developmental pediatrician. It's a very in-depth process to doing it. And then once you start therapy, they do try to check in with milestones and where he's at to try to see if there's improvement. But really, it's a case-to-case scenario. No kid is the same.
Yeah.
Some kids, it will take them years to even utter a sound still. Some kids, even if they do have autism, it will just suddenly click to them. So in terms of job proficiency, there has been, there are several jobs that children with autism have been able to do. So I'm not speaking for everybody, but there are some examples would be, arranging things or organizing things, supermarkets, cashier. There have been other high-functioning kids with autism as well who do well in corporate jobs or other desk jobs. And it doesn't limit really, but we don't really have a cure really for it because it stays with you. But it's more of finding ways to be more productive.
Is it a case of finding, again, using the motivational factor again, finding a specific role or function that individual is good with, whether it is something like organizing a shelf in the supermarket, or even if it's they just are amazing with numbers and mathematics and what have you, and finding a specific role, the function level doesn't really matter. It's just whatever motivates them, and then creating the environment around them to support that.
Yeah. So how I want to look at it is someone who doesn't, lack things, but you want to find the strengths more than the weaknesses.
Yeah.
So from what I remember, we try to see their interests and we kind of expand it more. So let's say the child really loves to swim. We try to find ways for it to encourage to free diving in the future, or become like a scuba instructor. So some things like that. So I
Not
do.
a lot of talking in the water.
Yeah. So I would like to think it as finding something very functional for them in the future and just trying to prepare them for something. Of course, you can't really say it, oh, you're going to be this kind of person in the future. But for me, if I were the parent,
You can open a pathway.
Yeah, so I want them to be, not just at home helpless. I want them to be able to do things still in society and be able to engage the community.
I'm still confused about what autism is, if I'm being blatantly honest. I have no idea. What in a very simple way is autism?
So autism, they do have a lot of developmental delays, so it's more of like a cognitive thing. It's not something you could physically see. If you do see someone with autism, it would be either, there's a bit of awkwardness, social awkwardness, and a lot of rigidness to it. So it's pretty interesting that some can't really hint on jokes. So if you do kind of say a joke, sometimes they wouldn't understand why it's a joke.
It's most of our listeners.
Most of our
listeners to my jokes.
I understand what you're saying. Wrong crowd to put that to.
So the problem is now is I think I'm autistic.
Yeah, everybody
jokes was autistic.
Yeah, but they're very rigid and just rules centered too.
The speech is fine. The everything is fine. It's just they're just socially awkward and.
So growing up as well, they would also have depends as well on the kid, but they would have self-stimulation, like hand flapping, or just staring into space, or just lining up toys on their own. It's different.
They're quite disassociated from the
typically,
and also lacking in emotional context.
Yeah. So emotional. Sometimes
You're good at this.
They can't read emotions.
Tell you what.
He's
a smart one. By the way.
So there are programs that relate to even understanding emotions. So cause and effect things. If you touch the socket, you will get electrocuted. Some of them can't really understand, if I get electrocuted, I'll feel pain. So it can be that literal.
With emotions, so is there a chance for them to meet someone? Is there a chance to have a normal life, from a love point of view? Yeah. Is that affected, or is that...
I think, there are still people with autism that eventually, find love and all that. But of course, it's different from a person to person. But they do try to understand, what anger is, happiness, love, and what it feels to be, to be sad, what it means, what are the causes of it. So for some, it takes, it takes a while to understand it.
Yeah.
That must be really tricky, huh?
Well, especially when it comes to, you're right, but when it comes to a relationship, it's trickier even more because there's two parties involved. Well, sometimes three, but that's a different story entirely.
Is there three? Wow.
But
I like that one.
If you've got someone with autism, I want to ask you about Asperger's as well, and where that's kind of fits in.
That's further north.
Spectrum,
that's what hit the Titanic, wasn't
it?
It's
kind of, I think let's go with that.
Yeah, we'll just go with that. Exactly. So,
just
so it's really damaging.
No,
my point is going to be...
What is your point?
In terms of emotions and what have you, if you've got an autistic person, yes, you may be able to reach a level where they understand or have an emotional connection with it. I understand what you mean about pain. I understand what you mean about love. I understand it. Might not necessarily feel it entirely. Mm-hmm. And then if I'm with a partner, you're then it's also beholden to them to understand what they're dealing with as well. So you can't have a fully functioning relationship. It might be different to what we would ourselves either know, feel, or want, but it doesn't make it any less
special.
Thank you. That would be a good word.
But I also think it's something biological because humans are social creatures.
Sure.
I mean, during COVID, we all kind of died inside, not being able to see our family and friends.
Well, there are exceptions to every rule.
Okay.
I
Maybe let's focus on friends.
loved lockdown
Just friends,
so much.
maybe. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it was also very freeing to be on your own space. But I do think like
Boobs.
we always.
Sorry, what?
I was back in her box again. Oh dear.
But you also just want to be with someone.
Sorry, I know what the title of this podcast is.
Yeah. I do too. Yeah.
That's an attention-grabbing statement.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's called clickbait, I believe. Is the answer.
Clickbait. There we go. Clickbait.
You're being very professional. I love this, and we're being idiots, which I love even more. What was my going to question? If you've got autism, do you know you've got it? Are they aware?
What's with you and good questions today?
Because
He's being a smart one too.
I know, it's
no, but
really
in all fairness,
off-putting.
there's certain
Have you listened to any of
Really?
my back catalogue? Seriously, this is really off-putting.
because I don't know.
Boobs.
enough-
We should mention boobs more often.
I've had not much experience working with special
Boobs.
needs kids or disabled kids. I used to teach water sports, and I remember my first ever experience was someone with Down syndrome, and I found it really nerve-wracking, and I hated every minute of it, and it scared me, really scared me, and he was just a very friend, and I can vividly remember it was in France, and it was in the resort bar, and he just came up to me, gave me a hug, and wanted to kiss and stuff. You know, not sexually kiss, just, you know, he just wanted to be affectionate. 'Cause Down syndrome kids are very affectionate.
Yeah.
And I freaked out.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I found it really difficult to work or to be around anyone with special needs. I find it really awkward.
Let me jump in on that.
But I know nothing about autism. And then I'll jump in a minute. And then I only got found out that even dyslexia, I find that difficult myself because I have a small bit of dyslexia. But I find the autism thing, it really interests me because I love kids, obviously, and I feel really sad when I see one kid who's different and gets treated differently. And I just don't know enough about autism, and if there is light at the end of the tunnel from can they have a perceived normal
I find
life?
it fascinating from a mechanics and a behavioural point of view in terms of the challenge of, I use the word fixing very loosely, but the challenge of understanding it and working with that child to show them a different path and getting them more sort of on board, if you like. But I'm actually similar to you in that respect. When I was young at school, one of the things, we had various community projects that our school was involved in. So we'd take a bunch of the kids and we'd go to this orphanage or we'd go to this hospital, what have you, just to sort of help out and be a part of it, just to learn about it. And I remember going to one of and it was the mental hospital back in Hong Kong in the 80s. And they were just full of kids with serious special needs and issues, dare I say.
Yeah.
And it freaked me right out. It was just the way we were introduced to it. For me, looking back, was wrong. It was just a case of you get thrust in there that you're the super lucky expat brat kid living in Hong Kong.
He's still
You've
a
got to
brat.
give back to the community, and this is how you do it by helping these kids out. Off you go. Go play a game. Go take them for a walk around. And it was just freaking me out. So to that, similar to you, it's just like I had no idea.
Yeah.
They didn't teach us how to engage, how to deal with that, what to expect.
Yeah.
But you just must have a heart of gold, and you must have patience of a saint.
Well, I do think we all have different kinds of patience. Yeah, so for me, it's patience with kids.
Doctors have patience
Dogs.
with.
Oh, he has no patience
Your
with
children.
kids.
I've got
I don't have any patience with
I
my
have
kids either.
zero patience with kids. Nada.
Yeah, but it's.
I have a lot of
it's
patience
bit
with Jay.
Oh, there we go. See, you found it.
I'm not sure you do.
It's probably good that I have some. Where does that hatch go?
Don't know, Russell. Russell, the podcast
we
listener
find-
cannot see that hatch, and I'm not doing any editing.
Yeah.
Back to Celine, please.
But yeah, it's a bit of a taboo, really, and I think there still needs to be more awareness to it because, like, for people that are not aware of it, they just tend to kind of don't know how to deal with it, kind of just get weirded out a bit, which is normal because surrounded with typically different.
Just to highlight that point, do you find it, because you're working in the industry, do you still find it now? Not still. Do you find it that it is kind of pushed to the side a little bit for kids that have those special needs?
Like in regards to
Within a functioning education system, there are kids with those special needs.
Yeah.
Do you find that is a bit more swept to the side or not dealt with quite?
I think there's still a bit of limits towards proper services for kids with special needs.
Right.
Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, in the States, it's a big demand to have ABA therapy because they're more aware of it, I guess. And they go through insurance with it too. For in Thailand itself, there are some schools here that offer special needs services.
Yeah,
I heard of
new.
one. Yeah, I heard of one doing like this dog program, like where you read to the dog
That's
and.
me.
Oh, there we go. Oh,
Tell us about that, Russell.
oh.
So I'll come back to that. But the reason for asking is, and again, this is more of an age thing, and I don't. When you were at school, did you go to school? Do you remember?
Well, I only went to school a few years ago, Russell.
There we
Yeah.
go.
I remember it very well.
Do you remember any kids with special needs?
No.
Right, and I remember from my school, they had and it was called the special unit, and that was for the kids that had those special needs. But of course, that's where you get
Just
pilloried
a bit
for.
secluded.
It's just, yeah, exactly. So you're not being part of functional society because
yeah.
you're in that. group.
Okay,
Yeah.
but no, we made the joke, and I will make this joke, but there was the special needs bus, and we used to call it the window licking bus, and it's a
Oh.
terrible joke because the Down syndrome
bus.
kids, you called it the short bus, we used to call it the window because the kids were always, which is terrible,
yeah.
but this was
But hilarious.
Yeah.
10 years ago, ish, a few more.
Not a lot of awareness yet.
Yeah.
I work one of the schools who's one of my clients at the moment. They have one autistic kid in the school.
Yeah.
It's a very small school. It's only 30 kids, so it's very small. But that child does take a lot of attention and does disrupt the class quite often. And other kids don't understand what's going on, and they're just wondering why little Johnny, that's not his real name, by the way, I've kept it secret, because I don't know it. But little Johnny...
So it might be Johnny.
and if it is Johnny, I'm really sorry. But little Johnny is disrupting everything and getting more attention. So what's your feelings about putting autistic kids within the normal classroom environment?
So what we want to see is more of for them to transition to mainstream eventually. So for the therapy part of it, we try to build on school skills, sitting nicely in class, being able to, follow instructions of the teacher is one of the specific things that we work on. Having attention, being, properly listening, and then eventually we kind of want to bridge them back to mainstream school because we want to prepare them. Some would also do school shadowing. There's special cases like that. I did a bit of it here as well.
Okay.
So I would sit in with the class as well and then just give more attention to the child I'm with and then kind of guide him more into, properly paying attention in class and making sure he's working on his work, but not being too intrusive to 1 + 1 is 2 and stuff like that. But we want it to come from them.
I knew it was.
Yeah.
Always told you.
Always said that,
Always
yeah.
told you.
Yeah.
It's 1 + 1.
Yeah, but it's having that support there. Okay, yeah, you're not there to do the work for them, but it's more just it means the teacher can get on with you and with the class,
Yeah, of course.
and not having to redirect their attention to the child.
Yeah.
But then and I'm playing devil's advocate here, as a child in that class, I'm seeing little Johnny. Well, how comes little Johnny's got a private teacher, and little Johnny, when he shouts and screams and kicks off,
Which is fine.
but as a kid, I don't understand why
Yeah.
little Johnny's getting away with that. When if I
Correct.
even swear,
But
or
this is where the educators need to be
Yeah,
educated into how to
teachers.
deal with that. And by bringing little Johnny into the room with an assistant teacher or what have you, it allows the teachers to engage the class in, this is the why, this is the what.
and then that teacher needs to explain to the class and
Yeah.
hope they'll
And then
understand.
that just becomes the norm, and then everyone's sort of involved. And you probably notice, you'll probably find there might be other kids that want to get involved to help.
Yeah.
So in terms of that transitioning period, I don't need you anymore.
Yeah, I kind of
So
just
off you
fade
pop.
away after a while.
Yeah.
But
Oh, I liked what you did then. Like
the
a little
little
melody.
way,
Yeah.
dance
Well,
away,
I was
bye
about-
bye.
Yeah, I was about to sing Moana. Moana.
But yeah, for kids, they do need a bit of knowledge to it as well because, typically developing kids, they'll just be like, oh, why is he so weird? But as a teacher, their role is for them to understand, they're still learning things. So you have to say, he has a bit of special needs. You kind of have to help him out. So this is how we kind of have to be more progressive in terms of teaching and not just like, don't mind him or whatever.
Yeah.
Before you ask your question, do you want to mention your reading with dogs?
Oh yeah, so the therapy dog program, I came across it when I was in the States years ago. And the idea for it was specifically for either kids that are just a little bit behind for their age group, or they have some sort of special needs and what have you. And it's just to develop their reading skills. So, and if they were just not confident reading to a helper or a teacher or a person, if you sit them down with a dog, they just start reading and just start engaging because there's no pressure. The dog's not going to say, "Excuse me, you fucking mispronounced that."
Dogs can't read.
Yeah.
They just want the story.
Yeah, absolutely. So the dog just sits there asleep on the floor. The child can sit and just gently pet the dog and read their book, and away they go. So and the way we use it here, it is kind of open to all the kids. So if another little Johnny, who's doing really well in school this week, your prize for next week is you can come to the reading dog program. So it's not a case of it's selected to the kids that really, really need it, although the kids that really do need it are obviously part of it.
And if you'd like to have a therapy dog, then call Russell at Canine Point Academy. That's caninepointacademy.com.
Thank you.
Next question, Russ.
What sort of things have you got on your bucket list? Just to go from a complete tangent.
Woo! Okay.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of things really. I still want to do a lot of traveling.
Any particular places?
I haven't been to Europe actually, and I've been keen to checking out the company I work with now. So I want to see my colleagues in actual.
And they're in America, are they?
Yeah, actually we're a bit scattered. There's some in Ukraine, some in Canada, and the States.
You do realise that Ukraine and Canada aren't in the States?
Oh yes, we're a bit scattered, just geographically scattered.
Really good with special needs kids. It's a good geography.
No, yeah.
I can see why you didn't
Just
take that subject.
separate, but yeah. So it's an interesting company because it's growing really quick. Mm-hmm. It's turning a year old on February, but we're already 300 in terms of staff.
Cool.
So
I'll get the links off you and we'll put them in the description.
Do they have any dog programs? That's a genuine question, not as a...
No, not at all. Just solely ABA therapy for now.
Yeah, dogs online. Not sure it's going to work, mate.
I would sign up for that.
Yeah.
Just watch the dog.
I've seen a couple of private sites with dogs online. There's something completely different.
Yeah. So back to your travelling.
Segue back to your bucket list. What about is there any things you want to do apart from travelling?
Well, let's see. Lately I've been into a bit of yoga. Well, I've been practicing for about 2 years now.
Which yoga do you do?
I like the fun, active ones like Vinyasa or Ashtanga. I like to try different styles, really. It's something I do want to explore more. So I'm very keen into trying different things, fitness related. I like writing, so I also like doing modeling sometimes. But I do tend to focus a lot more on I guess I'm becoming an advocate for autism, really. Just because
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with it. And you can put all those skills you just mentioned. You can put, yoga for autism. I'd imagine doing yoga would be a really good thing for the kids.
Yeah, a bit of meditation and all that. Yeah, so I am keen into visiting home again. Just so you know, Philippines have 400
chicken outlets.
7 islands.
Islands, yeah.
Yeah, so depends if it's high tide or low tide.
Yeah, as to how many you've got. Yeah.
My joke was chicken outlets, and I think they just got lost in the islands.
Yeah.
No, my high tide, low tide joke's better.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, so I have been traveling the Philippines for back then, and there's a lot of places to explore, a lot of surfing spots and mountains to explore and climb. It's a very tropical country, and I like nature a lot. So I guess that's why I'm in Phuket. I enjoy the beaches, how accessible it is, lots of mountains and scenery. Cute little town, lots of small little cafes.
Yeah.
And boobs.
And boobs.
Yeah.
Fake or real?
Oh, there's a lot of fakeness in Phuket.
There's a lot of plastic in Phuket.
Yeah, there is a lot of fakeness. On that note of boobs.
If there was ever a good note to finish on.
Thank you very much. This was thrown at you about 4 days ago, and you jumped at the chance, so we really appreciate that because Russ and I have never met you before.
Yeah,
and
I was a bit scared that you were going to steal my liver or something.
She was looking at you when she said that.
It was one kidney. It was one kidney.
Oh, okay. Times are hard, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I really trust people on the internet.
Yeah.
It's better than boobs.
Yeah, actually, to be fair, we are in a sort of coffee shop that is sort of down a little dark alleyway, right?
I'm the one
in a town that's closed down.
You picked this.
Plotting this.
Although you did say either here or Cape Sienna, but there's a reason I don't like going to Cape Sienna.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Reminds me.
Not a lot of spots there. Oh.
On that note, thank you very much for being on our little podcast. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. My pleasure too. It's been really fun.
Thanks, Russell.
Cheers.
Bye. welcome to the outro.
Which, funnily enough, is a Celine Dion reference because she did a song, which I think was a cover of It's All Coming Back
It's
to Me
not
Now.
Celine, it's Selena.
I know, but at the time you said Celine, and
I think I did call her
You
Celine.
did, and I had a really good Dion reference lined up, and I thought, no, I'll let this slide. And now I'm glad I did because you're the one that looks like a dick and I don't.
It's a bit harsh. Anyway, that was Celina Grace, who who I stalked to get onto the podcast. Apparently.
And she was incredibly graceful.
We should just point out we are now recording this outro on a Monday
At the Daily Dose.
At the Daily Dose,
Which does sound like a legalised... No, I probably shouldn't say that, actually.
a legalised high. We surely couldn't do
Yeah,
that.
that sort of thing.
It's not fair promoting someone's business saying it's a legalised high when
No,
I'm
but if
sure
you do it as that, you probably get a lot more people coming
I'm
up.
sure that the Daily Dose do not do anything illegal whatsoever, allegedly.
It is a very funky, very cool little cafe here in Boat Avenue.
Anyway, we're not here to promote them. We're here to promote.
But if they want to register, if they want to sponsor the podcast,
be nice. Could do with some money.
they're open from 9 till 2.
Selina Grace. So let me tell the story to the listener. So Celina Grace,
Maybe you shouldn't.
No?
No.
Okay,
I know
anyway.
the story. I really wouldn't.
She was really we'd never met her before.
Never.
Young, beautiful young lady, 27.
Who met us down a dark alley.
Who met us down a dark alley. Luckily we didn't go down her dark alley because that would be completely
genuinely
different.
down a dark
We
alley.
genuinely met her down a dark alley, and it was an experience. I liked her though. Do you know what I liked about it is she is a young kid. I say that she's not a young kid. She's 27, but she managed to walk in there, sit with us two idiots straight away, and just completely just go with it, which I thought was really impressive. She wasn't nervous. She wasn't. She just walked in, rocked up, said, "Yeah, we'll give this a go."
Yeah.
So that was cool, and very smart young lady.
Very.
Great story.
Very. Yeah. I mean, she clearly knows her stuff.
Absolutely.
Clearly has a passion for it.
Yeah.
And no, it was good fun having a chat with her and again, without being sort of quirky, I know I've sort of brought the dogs in as is my want, but there is a lot of crossover between sort of child psychology and canine psychology, and also in terms of using dogs for the benefit of kids that do have special needs is growing.
And I'm not going to delete my. I was impressed because I actually do think. Impressed is probably the wrong word, but I do think there was a huge correlation. Thank you. Between what you do.
Coloration is what you do with crayons.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm good at that. There's a huge coloration between the Sea of the Atlantic and the Sea of the Pacific because they're both blue.
Yeah.
But I think Pacific's because it's larger, be a darker blue. Anyway, there is a correlation between the dog psychology that you do and the child psychology that she does with special needs. So I think that was a valid point. But no, she's smart and she's cool and she is beautiful and she's going to go far. And anyone looking, let me know. I don't know what that's all about. Bless her. I'm a little bit smitten by her, I think. She's tall as well.
Well, on the basis that
but
she's
forget
a
her
she,
looks and she is a smart cookie and she did know everything about everything.
On the basis that she's a she, you're smitten.
Very true.
Mm.
I'm very true. And we got Rob Peters this week, so I won't be so smitten there, I don't think. Anyway, that was Celina Grace, a Filipino who is here to help with special needs kids.
Self-described black sheep of the family.
Is that what she self-described herself as?
Well, I think I've added the black sheep bit, but she sort of described herself as
Don't
the
be
one
racist, Russell.
the one that sort of flew the nest.
Well, there we go. Right, if you've got a dog that needs training, or if you want your dog to go and spend some precious time at a beautiful place, a resort,
There you go.
then go to Canine Point Academy.
Yep.
Listen to Barkcast. It's out every Thursday.
It is
Just
indeed.
go to caninepointacademy.com and you can find it there, or go to.
And don't forget, I'm not sure if we've mentioned this before. We've got a beach club.
Have you got a beach club?
We do, yeah.
Not me and you personally.
Not
of
me and you
course.
personally, but me up
you
at Canine
personally
Point.
have
Me
got
personally on my own.
Russell's got his own beach club because he's so cool. Oh, Kenny Rogers has just driven past.
There's a
You
song in
gotta
there somewhere.
know where you're going, know where home to. Is that Kenny Rogers?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it is.
Did he do
Gambler.
Islands in the
Yes.
Sun as well?
Islands in the Stream with
That's
Dolly.
it. Yeah. Because we're
Dolly.
islands in a stream.
That is what we are.
I never understood the lyrics to that. Anyway, this is the outro and we shouldn't be waffling on. Make sure you go and like us and follow us on all the social media. That is Phuket Podcast or Leshark and Friends and Russell. Or just go to
PhuketPodcast.com.
There you go. Thanks for listening. Give us a rating on your
At
favourite.
least 5 stars.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be lovely.
6 would be preferable.
Can you do 6?
No.
It's a shame, isn't it?
Mm.
Nice. Thanks, Russ.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, bye.
Bye.